Hey everybody, all right, last step, here we go, ready? Last step to this is actually to create a short text about this prized possession, blending the concrete and the abstract together. So what does that look like? Well, what that looks like is, first of all, remembering that the abstract contains bigger ideas and emotions, okay? While the concrete focuses in on the possessions, the things that you're talking about, and the experiences that you're talking about. These are concrete, but the abstract are the bigger ideas and the bigger emotions that you're trying to convey to an audience. This is what you want them to feel. This is what you want them to connect with and relate to. So I am going to blow this wide open, and you guys can write anything you want as long as you write about prized possession in order to convey thoughts, feelings, emotions that are connected. Well, what does that look like? Well, that looks like anything you want. You know, here's the assignment, right? The assignment is a writing assignment. You can do anything you want. You can write me a personal essay. You can write a letter. Letters are interesting because they're actually addressed to somebody. Wouldn't it be cool if you wrote a letter to your child passing on this prized possession and rationalizing why they needed to hang on to it? That's a lot more interesting than writing to me, right? So if you're going to write a letter, you got to think about, to whom are you writing? To whom are you writing? My goodness, you could write poetry. You could write a poem. Interestingly enough, if you're going to write a poem, what I would encourage you to do is look at the work of a poet named Pablo Neruda. Pablo Neruda, I think it's an E. No. Neruda. We'll say that. If it's wrong, it's wrong. I'm so sorry. Pablo Neruda was a great poet, and he wrote these things called odes. I encourage you to look up his work and see how he writes them. Poetry is interesting. Sometimes it's not as hard as you think. When you look at some of Pablo Neruda's odes, like Ode to a Grecian Urn or Ode to My Socks. Oh, that is a beautiful poem. You gotta look at this. Ode to My Socks. Come on. Ode to My Socks is a great one. You gotta look these things up, and it's not as hard as you guys would think. My goodness, you could even, if you wanted to, you could even, for this assignment, create an infographic. What's an infographic? Well, an infographic, look them up online, but an infographic is a graphic representation of ideas. Go figure. It's a graphic representation of ideas. They show data, and they even tell a story. There's a certain way to look at this infographic. I would encourage you guys to look at that. But basically, what I'm telling you is that there's a couple ways to do this. There are ways to do this in a literary way, like with a personal essay or with poetry. There's the literary stance. Or if you don't like that, there are transactional ways to do this assignment. You could write a letter, or you could create an infographic online with any of these, online providers. A great one that the grade 9s are using right now is called PictoChart. Wow, I need to go back to spelling school. PictoChart. Wow. That's a really easy one to use, and they're creating some great stuff on there. But what you guys need to understand is that transactional documents are communication tools that are used, in business. Think of the exercise you guys did a little while ago, when you were trying to take this objective language and subjective language, right? Subjective language is language of writers and authors and poets, and objective language is the communication tools that we use when we're in business or when we're in science and everything else. Transactional documents are those business documents, those legal documents, those scientific documents, those no-nonsense documents, right? Literary documents are those, like poetry and short stories and narrative essays and all of these, feeling pieces. What I want you guys to do is create either a transactional document or a literary document, okay? And you can do any one that you want. It doesn't even have to be limited to these three. If you have another idea, you want to write what's called a narrative essay, which is an essay that actually tells a story, you can do that too, okay? Regardless, whatever you want to do, you can do it. I'm going to leave it open-ended and up to you guys to do this. Well, Mr. Fabry, when is it due? Well, here's the thing. It's going to be due the week after spring break, okay? So it is going to be due first week of April. So this is April 17th. No, April 7th, 2017. Okay, so you've got the next couple of days to get all these activities done. Then you've got basically spring break to come up with your idea, what you're going to do. And then that week, we're going to go to town. We're going to make sure it's structured well. We're going to make sure the language you're using is polished. We're going to make sure that people read this. And they're going to be due April 7th. Okay? Typed. All right. More on that later. I'm going to let you guys go and work now. Any questions? You know where to get me. All right. See you later.